today on Divorce Court.
Solovino and I are here so that Nora can see that she needs to change her behavior so she can be a better member of our family.
Nick's asking me to change my lifestyle, and I don't want to. If he can't accept who I am and what I'm about, then he can hit the road. I want the judge to tell Nick that it's time to put me first and the dog second.
If Nora doesn't change, she's gonna have to go, and she can't have custody of Solovino. She's just not mature enough.
Divorce Court is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with Nora Brank and Nick Meyer. The two of you have been together for 8 years. You've been living together for the last 5. Ms. Brank, you have a situation with a dog that you want to talk to me about momentarily, but why don't you tell me why you have come to divorce court here today?
Okay, I've come to divorce court today because when Nick and I started dating about 8 years ago, everything was perfect. We were both in the same line of work. We were both stand-up comedians, so he was hilarious. We hung out all the time. He went out with me. We spent a lot of time in nightclubs and at bars, and he liked to stay out with me. We would drink drinks and go out.
And drink.
Have fun. We would have fun. We would go out to eat a lot. We went to like steakhouses. He would buy me lobster. I thought it was really romantic. He took me out to dinner all the time. He loved my friends. We had like the same friends, so it was really easy to have people around. And
so you were in your late 20s, mid to late 20s when you first met?
Exactly. Yeah.
And now you're in your mid 30s.
Exactly. Right.
Mr. Meyer, why don't you tell me your vision of the difficulty?
Well, I can't believe I'm the defendant. That's crazy. Our family could be this beautiful structure, but there's something missing in it, and it's Nora. She hasn't grown up at all. She's still the child that she was when we met 8 years ago, and it's disruptive, and it's not working. Explain
what she's still doing that you wish she wasn't doing anymore.
I think you already heard the drinking and the drinks and the clubs.
Drinking,
I mean,
yeah.
We're in our mid-30s, and I think it's time to build something bigger, and we just all have this energy, and it can work together to make something truly beautiful.
Okay. How did he change? Did he just stop drinking and going out, or were there other major changes in his attitude or behavior?
So both of us decided to kind of stop being stand-up comedians because it wasn't working for us anymore. It's hard to make a living doing that, especially when you're growing up out of your 20s. So he got more into being an artist, and when he made that change, he stopped drinking entirely. He used to take me out for steak dinners, and he became not only a vegetarian, but a vegan, which means that not only do you not eat meat, but you don't eat any dairy products. You don't eat honey because it hurts the bees. You don't eat white sugar because there's ground up cow hooves in it. Your only sweetener is maple syrup, and some vegans don't even like maple syrup because it hurts the trees. So he is really adamant about his diet, which is a huge change. Like, we used to go out for steaks. I love a juicy steak. He thinks it's disgusting now.
When you go out and you want a vegan meal,
we don't
can
go
she
out.
have a steak? You're not like shaming her over her meal choices.
She can do whatever she wants, but it's clearly not the best for her and for us. I mean, we're animals, so it hurts us as animals to eat other animals.
So what about the lions? They eat other animals.
They do, and they might not be doing as well as humans right now, spiritually.
Spiritually.
Okay.
No, you know, I mean, Nora brings up steak and stuff. Let's bring up marijuana. Is that something that lions do? Do lions smoke weed all day?
Probably if they could get some, they would.
So, Ms. Mary, you guys used to smoke weed together, but you stopped because you moved on past that.
I grew up, yeah.
You say you specifically have problems with her job. Tell me what she does and why do you think it makes her irresponsible?
She's a party girl. That's her job. Job. It's just not, it's not something
but she don't get paid.
She does.
Hang
on.
She's a party
Explain
promoter.
that.
Excuse me, that was disrespectful. She's a party promoter.
Oh.
And she's 35 now, and it's not the right job for someone who's 35 and wants to have a family.
34.
34. Yeah, never jack up a woman's age. You want to come out alive. Always come in on the low end. But as a party promoter, do you participate a little more than one ought?
I enjoy being out a lot. I don't.
Do you drink a lot?
I drink on the weekends.
You always have to multiply that times 4 anytime somebody says what they do.
Are you judgmental at home? I mean, she was who she was when you met her. You're the one who changed. So do you respect the fact that she's still who she was?
I'm still here, so obviously I respect that to a degree, but we're all changing. And Nora's not the same exact person she was then.
Well, tell me what's changed.
What's changed? She's older, and she needs to act like an older adult. And I acted that way when I was younger, but it's cyclical, it's negative, and it leads to worse behaviors. I mean, I know for a fact that she's cheated on me once, and what am I supposed to do at 4, 5 a.m. when I'm at home, taking care of everything, and she's out there?
Well, now that's a big issue. All right, well, let's talk about her cheating.
She does all these things that are very suspect, and whenever she does walk Solo Vino, our dog, sometimes she's gone for hours, and I've heard that he's just tied up in some rando's front yard.
Ms. Brank, are you tying up the dog to a tree and walking off with some other dude? Ms. Brank, is he right? Did you cheat on him?
We were not exclusive at the time. It was when we started dating.
So this is 8 years ago.
7.
7 years ago.
7.5.
Okay, what happened?
We were newly dating, about 4 months in. My ex-boyfriend came into town, and we hooked up because Nick and I had not made an exclusivity agreement. So I thought that it was cool. I mean, I loved Nick, but I just kind of wanted to see, you know, what I was missing out on.
Yeah, that's what I call a rough transition. You know,
exactly.
You're getting a new one, letting the old one go.
Right.
You haven't said the words "just us two" yet. Do you see that as that sort of rough transition slip up, or did you feel betrayed?
She was doing it to hurt me, and
Why do you think she was doing it to hurt you?
I think she was trying to get me to stay. I think it was manipulative, and it was like, look at what I can do, and do you want to be in this thing together? So, and I had to be like, yes. We're in it.
We're in it.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing about this is he was never upset about it until he stopped drinking and got on this straight edge path. Like, he brings it up now, like, oh, you cheated on me.
He was fine with it for years, but now that he's become a different
it's like this
person.
thing he could just pull out of his pocket, you know, and like blame me for like another example of how I'm so irresponsible.
It's the same as when you're like, how many drinks do you have? You always multiply it by 4. It's the same thing. She does all these things that are very suspect, and whenever she does walk Solo Vino, our dog, sometimes she's gone for hours, which isn't very like her, and other times she's gone for a minute. And I've heard from my friends that he's just tied up in some rando's front yard. So I think that is evidence.
Ms. Brank, are you tying up the dog to a tree and walking off with some other dude?
Absolutely not. Although that would be fun, and I think about it, when Nick says stuff like that, I would never do that, mostly just because that's rude to the dog.
Okay. I understand that you two also have issues with respect to children. You would like to have them, and he is not on board. Why don't you tell me about that?
When we first started dating, he was really open to it. You know, and we were like, oh, we have a couple years, we're gonna party, it's gonna be fun, and then we'll settle down and we'll think about having a family, make some more money, kind of get right. And as the years went on, he became kind of more and more militant about his veganism and more like environmentally aware. And his whole argument is that he doesn't want to have kids because he thinks it's wrong to bring a kid into like this messed up world, which I understand and respect. But at the same time, like, right, I'm 34, and it's like I need to,
Yeah,
you know, right?
Yeah,
so, right, like, I mean, I might
there's
even
a
be too
window
late.
that's
right,
closing.
yeah, exactly.
Mr. Meyer, why don't you tell me how you feel about the child situation?
I mean, of course, like, I love our family, and I want it to grow and be strong.
And when you say our family, you mean you and the dog, right?
I hopefully mean me and Solo Vino and Nora.
And her.
But if we wanted to add a human child to the mix, I think that a lot of things would have to change, because right now, Nora cannot care for herself. Once she can care for herself, she could care for Solovino. Once she could care for Solovino, she could possibly care for a child.
She can't care for Solovino? She
No.
doesn't do a good job?
No, she doesn't. She's too busy partying.
Now, Ms. Brank, you want to have fun, you want to have party, and you want to be a party promoter. You bring a baby into that equation, and all of that stops. Those people are nonstop, 24/7, 365. You're going to be exhausted, tired. Everything comes behind their wants. Oh, 1,000 of their wants have to be fulfilled before you get a one want. Are you ready for that?
I think so. I
She's
think
light
so.
years away.
How do
She's
you
so far away.
demonstrate that based upon your conduct right
Well,
now? Because I can understand his concern.
Why would I give up my lifestyle now to like maybe hopefully try to start having a family with Nick if it's not certain? He's so into the dog and he thinks that the dog is our baby.
So you can't give up drinking and stuff to try to grow your relationship? That's that important to you? The partying's that important? I don't get that.
It's my career. It's my career. I make money, you know. I
No, I
make a
understand, I
salary.
understand the promotions part, but the drinking part and the other rest
I
of
don't
it.
drink as much as Nick says that I drink. Nick is really sensitive to drinking. He's really sensitive to drugs and alcohol. I drink on the weekends. I drink for work.
I want to go back to the dog because that seems to be a
Can you
huge
please
issue.
call him Solovino and not the dog? I think that's disrespectful.
You are the defendant. He is the dog.
Nick built me a house in the backyard. And my friend
Now,
was
is that
like,
where you live?
That's where I live. And my friend was like, Nora, you gotta understand that Nick built you a doghouse. And your dog lives in the bedroom with
In the real
Nick.
house. Do you understand how she might feel by that action? Do you understand her desire to want to have a baby? And what would you need to see her change before you feel that that would be something you would like to pursue as well?
Of course I understand her desire. I want this family to stay together. And I think that it starts with Solovino. It sounds crazy, but if we can't care for this animal that lives with us, who is helpless without us, how can we do anything else?
How is she failing in her care for the dog?
She doesn't feed him what he needs. She doesn't walk him enough. She doesn't brush him enough. She doesn't care about what he needs, and she doesn't do the things that he needs.
So you end up doing all of those
I
things?
do all of them.
What is this?
Oh yeah, thank you, finally, thank you. This is what Nick
Wow.
wants me to spend on the dog. When Nick says Nora isn't being responsible enough for the dog and I need Nora to start being more responsible for the dog, that means that Nick wants me to pay his guru,
Nora.
our dog trainer, $800 a month.
Nora does not pay any of this.
Yeah, and let me ask you, what does a dog guru do?
That's a great question. He is a dog guru because he is just that. He understands what dogs need. He can communicate with them on a level that the rest of us cannot.
Like a whisperer, like a dog whisperer.
Yeah, exactly.
And what does he tell you with respect to Solovino's needs and wants that you have found helpful? I'm fascinated.
You should be, yeah. It's really interesting. As you'll be able to see, Solovino's energy is still a little all over the place. He's had a crazy life.
Is he young?
He's young at heart. And
Is he young? How old is he?
he's 5.
Okay, let's see the dog.
He's a lovable animal.
Well, hello, buddy. How you doing?
Come here.
What's up?
Come here. Come here. Hey, sit. Sit. Good boy.
All right. Now, you say you're not so upset about, but you think he's over the top about
I'm
the
upset
dog
about it.
house.
I'm upset about it.
Why don't you tell me about the dog house?
Okay, the doghouse. So Nick and I moved into this place. It had 1 bedroom. So it would make sense that we would share the bedroom, right? But after living there for a couple months, Nick decided that he wanted the bedroom to be his office and also put Solovino's crate where Solovino sleeps in there with him.
His den.
So Nick built me a house in the backyard. And my friend
Now,
was
is that
like,
where you live?
That's where I live. And my friend was like, Nora, you gotta understand that Nick built you a doghouse. And your dog lives in the bedroom with
in the real
Nick.
house.
Yeah.
Do you understand how she might feel a little,
Embarrassed, mortified, upset, disrespected.
any of those things by that action?
I think it was really sweet that I built her a house. I could have made the door curved like this, and then it would have been a dog house. But it's not. It has a door like this. So it's a human house.
Does it matter to you how she feels?
Of course it matters. I work from home, so I'm in my office working most of the time. And Solovino likes to be close to a person. So I stay there with him together, and it's great. And Nora is never home. So
what's the point?
What's the point?
Why do you think I'm never home? Because I live in a doghouse.
I got you. I'm with you. Mrs. Frank, what do you want from me? Because it seems to me that he's presented himself with who he is and what he wants to do, what his interests are. And my question to you is, are you interested in who he's become, or are you interested in simply maintaining a relationship?
I told Nick that I wanted to break up with him. And he told me that if we broke up, I could never see the dog again. So what I want from you is to try to help me see the dog half of the time.
Mr. Meyer, did you really say that to her? That if you were to break up, you never get to see the dog again?
I didn't say never. She could see him, but she cannot have custody.
I can see, he said that I could never see the dog again, and I said, that's irrational and not fair. And he said, okay, you can see the dog only if me or the Kundalini Yoga dog guru is there with you.
So supervised visitation is what he's
only
looking for.
with like the dog guru or Nick.
him.
We can't confuse Solovino. I mean, if Nora is coming and going, it's either she's in this family or she's not, I feel. And
do you want her in this family?
Of course I do.
Tell her.
Nora, I want you in this family with me and Solovino.
Mrs. Brake, I would walk off so quick. You know what I mean? Just. And I'm sure he's not this easily offended and such a stickler at home.
Oh, he is.
Well, then really, I don't understand what you're doing.
We have a history.
No, Mrs. Brake, this is all me till the end. He's shown you who he is, and if you don't enjoy who he is, you need to move forward. If you want to have children, you only have a specific window of time. He's ordered his household, and you came in third after the dog. So that should tell you something. That would tell me a great deal. I would miss the dog, but I could get one just like him, little puppy, and find a new one. But let's do this. Let's be rational people. How about that? Why don't she get 6 hours visitation, 2 hours at a time at your house? You wouldn't have a problem with that, would you?
Does he have to be there?
If it's at my house and I'm there, it'd be fine.
I don't want to. If we break up, it'll be weird to see him.
Then get a new dog. I'm telling you. Go over there with him and visit the dog. If it's that important to you, you can just ignore him and visit the dog. If it's not that important to you, don't go. See what I'm saying? But I'd rock and roll, because if it's you get the guy you pick. Is this what you want? That's the question you have to answer. Rational solution, I'll write it down for you. If you want to do visitation, you can do it like that. If not, move on. And the best to the both of you. This matter is adjourned.
When the judge told Nora to move on and get a new man, I was, of course, hurt. But I don't think she's going to do that. I think clearly she's going to stay with me, and she's going to work to be better for Solovino and I.